Nice. So let's move on. Today we are going to learn the basics of front-end web development. So you guys know what you came here for, Abi. You know what you came here for. So here you are going to learn how to create the interface of the website. That is how it looks like, how it should be beautiful. So from Debbie's class, you have learned how to use something called HTML. You have learned that to use HTML, you need an app called Notepad. Debbie's class. So here we are going to be using this app called Visual Studio Code. This app here. So when you use this app, is where you guys write code, just like Notepad. It's the same thing, but this is far better. So here is what you do when you're making any website for someone. Like I tell you I want to make a website, so you tell me, okay, what am I going to do, blah 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 blah. You have to do these steps. First thing is to create a folder for that project. We're going to create a folder for ourselves. This project folder is what you are going to be using to code. It means that if you are doing your own code, you make your own folder, she make her own folder, you make your own folder. So I'm making a folder for myself. Go to here, press new folder. Inside you type what's the name of the folder. I will just say WWeb. Inside this WWeb, I will go inside and create 4 folders. One will be for CSS, one will be for JavaScript, another one for pages. Oh, I'm coming. I saw the mistake. Images. Okay, so we have 4 folders. So this folder is what is going to be holding each of your components, each of the things that are making your website work. CSS, images for images, JavaScript for JavaScript, pages for other pages here, and we go out. Now this folder here, we're going to open this folder inside this Visual Studio Code. So what you do, go to file, from file, tap on open folder. It means that if you are opening your own folder, he wants to open your own folder, he will go here to open folder. So press open folder, go to the desktop because in our desktop, then tap on WWeb, press select, and it should ask you save, don't save, we don't need it, and here we are, right? So once you have it here, then you are sure that yes, any changes you make here will affect that one here, right? It's the same thing, almost like you're opening it on File Explorer. So yeah, so this Visual Studio Code is different from Notepad, I told you, because Notepad you can help you to write code, but in this Visual Studio Code, it does more than just writing code. It can help you check for errors. It can help you correct your code, complete it. It can help you see your files. It can help you do some other things. So all you need to do is to learn how it works. First step, we have learned how to call our folder here. Second thing I will tell you is how to make sure that anytime you're writing your code, you don't press Ctrl S every time. No Notepad, you have to press Ctrl S every time. So here, go to this part that says auto save. Tap on auto save. If you tap it once, it works. It means that you don't need to do it again. If you come back here and you see that check sign, it's working permanently. So you don't need to press Ctrl S again. Still. I think that's what I forgot to do for this guy. That stuff I removed. He told me don't save something, I didn't save. So it means that he has to write it again. So this is what is happening. Then we want to make our HTML file. You guys know what HTML file is. If you're writing code, you need that HTML file. So we're going to make our HTML file outside here, not inside these folders. Make sure you first tap outside. You something. Tap outside, then go to this bar that says new file. Tap on it. Make a file name. If you're making any website for someone, the home page is always indexed. Then you put .html. You're familiar with this, So yes, index.html. This is our home page. Then in Debbie's class, you have learned how to use something like idoc type, head, body. Here, the shortcut is Shift 1. Just press Shift 1. It will give something like this. Press Enter. And you have this. Hit again. Shift 1. Press Enter. So you don't have to cram this again. Stay. Alright. So let's understand what this one is. You understand now from here that we are writing HTML. Yes. This part here is having something like lang en. It's just saying that it is English. The head and the body are two different tags. Anytime I say tag, understand that I mean that less than, greater than. So yes, this head tag, what is this head tag for? This head tag is for information about this page. If you have, probably you have some information about this website. Who made this website? What is this website about? here. Right, so you can see inside this list we have something like Meta Chasset UTF-8. This is just saying that it accepts some certain characters. Right. So the default one is UTF-8. Don't you cram all these things, like I said. Viewport is just saying that this is how to resize the website on the phone. Smaller phone, bigger phone. You can see what it says. Wait, 1.0. Title, you guys know what title is for. Title, what is at the top. That's bookmark bar, whatever. So we can change this to home page. Now, how do we see the result of this? When I click on this place, if you want to see it on your browser, when I click here, guys, when I click on this one here, when I click on it, copy path, go to Explorer and paste it at the top here, Ctrl V, enter, and you see home page. So anytime I type inside here, is working in here. Easy, sharp. Now we have learned how to make a file, set it up straight here. Let's now talk about some few things you need to know. We have to talk about something called comments. Comments is like you have a particular code and you want to how will I say it, label the code to show that okay, this code is doing this, code is doing this. So in case I write multiple code in my own life, I might have written HTML 500 times, and if I go back to the first one I wrote, I will forget. So what I will do is that I will write a comment to say okay, this code is doing this, this code is doing this. So even if I show it to this guy and he doesn't know what my code is about, once he reads that, he knows that okay, this code is for this. So how do you write that? For example, I write something like this. This is front end web development. Right, so once you write this code, if you come back to your browser, you will see the result here. I don't want to show here. A comment should not show in your browser. So what do? You wrap it inside this. The shortcut to do this kind of thing. You say that just. So this is a comment. I said the shortcut to do this is Ctrl/. Look at my hands. Ctrl/. So what should do it? Get it? Ctrl/. So once you do that, you will see that once you come to your browser, you refresh, it's gone. Don't think that it is hidden from everybody. It is just not showing. But it means that if a programmer like me wants to see that comment, I can see it. All I need to do is just come back here and check your code. I can say view page source, and I will see all your HTML, and I will see this in here. You see it. So don't write something that is hidden, meaning that don't write password or all that kind of apparatus. Something you don't want people to see. Don't write it there. Instead, write something that will describe or help you remember your code. How you use. So yeah, that's that. So we have talked about how to use the comments. Let's now talk about different kind of tags. We know about table, UL, LI, OL, we have form, input. All those are tags. So we have three. We have talked about one already, which is a comment tag. This is a comment tag. The second one is a inline tag, and the third one is block level tag. Are you typing?
No.
Right, so this is the first type of tag inline tag. Is it there? Inline tag and block level. So inline tags are tags when you write them, you see that they will stay on the same line. For example, you have a link. A link looks like this. It looks like. You see it's still on a single line. So inline tags are tags that when you write them, they will stay on a single line, side by side with each other. When you write inline tags, they will not break. They will stay where they need to stay. Meaning that they like to take up the space they need, not too much. But block level tags is a different kind of tag. When you write them, they will break. For example, look at this paragraph here. You can just write some few texts. Okay, so yes, I have a paragraph here. I have two of them here. When you have two different paragraphs, even if it's small text, you see that the next one will go under. That is to show you that the paragraph is stretching from here till the end. It is taking up the full space available. Almost like this guy's head. This guy's head is a block level element. Even if you put it here, it will stretch from here to here. But if it was inline, it will stay on its own, meaning that it allows another inline to stay by the side. So for you to visualize this thing, you can right click on any elements. Just right click on them. Right click and go to inspect. You go to inspect. You should be able to see something like this kind of thing. This is so this part I can tell you that these are all the elements. These are A. You see the way that A is highlighted. See how small it is. But look at the paragraph. This is white. Paragraph is white. Let me bring this in down. So you see how wide it is. To stretch to the end. That's how it works. So that's the block level elements. Block will stretch to the end. Yeah, we are block and inline. Any question on that? So just understand that if you write some tags and you send things on the side, and what? They are which one? If you send elements things side by side, they are called what? Inline. Block. So we now need to talk about attributes. Just think of attributes like something that defines or give more information about an element or a tag. This A has something called href. This href is an attribute. Attributes that is telling the person that if anybody taps on this link, take the person to this place. So that's an attribute. So there are different attributes. You see href. You have used you must have used font face. You must have used border. You must have used border. You have used type text, placeholder. So those are attributes. So we're done with that. We're done with elements. So if you hear me say elements tag, it means this thing. If I say paragraph elements, it is this. A element or a tag, it is this. Yes, it is a tag. But if you see me talk about attributes, they are what is inside the opening tag, which is this one. Something like this. So that's how we're done with that. Let's move on to CSS. How can we make our HTML beautiful? Debbie's class have taught you how to use something similar. I was saying something in this guy's school. It was using something like center. You want to move to the center. So it was using something like center, like this. I hope you guys are saying something like that. I am not writing less than, paragraph, greater than. You get. Just like P. Just like P. Enter. So now I want to write center. Center. It works. So don't think of stressing yourself. Maybe you're writing table, just like TAB, bam, works. Right, so now let's talk about CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. Right? Cascading style sheets. Right, what does this do? This CSS is a way for you to change the appearance of HTML elements or tags. For example, if my paragraph is black, I want it to be red. What will I use? CSS. So we have 3 ways of writing CSS. Let me give you the first way. First way is using inline CSS. Inline CSS is the most simplest. For example, I want to make this my paragraph, which has a text inside. I want it to have color red. By default, it's always color black. I want it to be red. All I do, I just need to go inside the paragraph and open a style attribute. An attribute. Inside the attributes, just call color. Color is what I want to change. I want to change the color to what? I'll put colon, almost like equals to red. And I'll end it with semicolon. You get it? So once I do this, my P is red. Very simple. That is the most simplest way. So you see that you have to use the property, like color is a property. Colon, red, then end it with semicolon. You know what semicolon is now? That's semicolon. So it means you can write more things. I can say background color, yellow. But you see, when it is 2 words, it is using a hyphen. It's a hyphen. So background color is yellow, blah blah blah. If I want to even make it text align center, I can just say text align. Okay, sorry. Text align center. Once I do that, we refresh, we have it at the center. Simple as that. So yeah, that's how it works. Hope you have gotten that inline CSS. So the way inline CSS works is that you can only target one element. For example, if I want to do the same thing for 5 different things, I have to copy the same code again and again. So inline is fast but hard if you're doing for multiple things. Almost like me saying, think of this. For example, I want to say, Victor, go and fetch water. Imagine, I'll say, Victor, go and fetch water. You go and fetch water. You go and fetch water. I'm saying 3 times. If I have one, I have to say each of them one by one. But what if I cannot say, everybody in this class, which is, go and fetch water. It's almost like one at the same time. So, inline is like calling everybody one by one. That's how inline works. But the other way, other CSS is better, but it's a little bit longer. This is the second way. Second way is using internal CSS. Internal CSS means you are writing the code still inside this HTML. You get it? So what you do is when you're using internal CSS, you go to the head, just go below the title and write style. The opening is style tag, not an attribute. Don't be the difference between an attribute and a tag. This is a tag, this is an attribute. That is the difference. Right, so this is a tag. Now inside this tag, I can write one code and say, okay, color of red, and it will affect one or multiple elements. How do I do that? Inside here, for you to use this internal CSS, we need to understand something called selectors. Selectors are like the way I can call you. For example, if I was trying to call you, I can say people in front end. It's not you. I can call Yamini. Or I can say the newer set. Like that is 3 of you. So I have 2 different ways of calling you. You guess as I work. So in selectors are like that. So how do I? What are the 3 basic selectors? There are many. I will tell you can see all of them. But there are many. So what the 3 basic ones? The first one and the most simplest is element selector. Is selector element selector. This is how it works. If I was trying to call all the A's here, all the A's, I will just say A. You get it? Just A. If you call A, that means every A. Every A. Almost like when you say boy. All the boys. Yeah, all the girls. So A, come back and say color or something like that. You said after writing A, I have to write something like curly braces to show that everything inside there is for the A. So I write color, let's say color should be, let me say pink. Pink will not work well. Let me say red. Yellow. So yes, yellow. Come back here, refresh what you see. How many links are there? 3, and none of them are yellow. If I change it from yellow to something else, all of them will affect. So element selector is very good when you want to give general styles. For example, if I say all the girls in this class, let all of them have a particular hairstyle. But if I say you should have a different hairstyle, you should have a different hairstyle. Or a group of girls in front end should have a different hairstyle. This will not do it because this is selecting all, not some. So if you're using this selector, you are using it when you want to have all. If I say all my H1 should have an underlining, all of them, I will use elements. If I say some, I will not use elements. You get the difference? So please, next. The second selector. After the first one now. The first one is element selector. Element selector. Second one is class selector. The third one is ID selector. Class selector is like a group name. You can give it a group name. For example, if I had something like this, H2, let me have H2. H2 has some text like welcome. Right? I have 4 of them. If I want to target only 2 and give those 2 color red, if I use tag selector H2, it will not work. It will affect all of them. But class can just come back. You just come each of them, just give me class. It's an attribute. So inside there, you can say you have a class. You have a class equals to something. I can say equals to new or something like that. Anything you think of, get. But make sure it is not separated by space. You understand? For example, if I want to make a name that's new students, I will say new dash students. You get it? If I use new space students, means I'm making 2 classes, new and students separate. So if I say new dash students, I can come up here and call new students, and I have to put a full stop because it's a class, not a tag. If you put new student like that, and you say put new students, and No, without the full stop, it will think that this new student is a tag. There is no tag like that. So instead, put the full stop, and if you carry your mouse over this, it will tell you yes, it is a what? A class. You get it? So once you come back here, you can now say yes, color should be red. And when you go to your browser, you see only 2. So think of it like a group name. It means that I can say, okay, even you have class name of new students, you, new students, you, new students. Remember, class name is like a group name. This name I wrote here must be exactly the way it is on the top. If you get any mistake in spelling, it will not work. For example, this one does not have S. Come back here, it will not work. If you come back here and you write S, or your S capital that S, it will not work. Refresh, they will work. But if it is normal, you get it. Make sure you put all these things in mind. Are you get it? So ID is the last one. ID is just like, it's less like class. The only difference between ID and class is that ID is for a unique name. You know something is unique, it means you cannot repeat it. So class name is like, you make it, you can give it to multiple things. ID, only one. If you give this element here an ID of food, you cannot come back up here and say you have an ID of food again. Instead, you can say something like foods or something else. That is different. Yes. So how do you call ID? All you need to do is come back here. Don't use this stuff, put on the class. You use hash. Yeah. This. So because that hash, it will know that yes, it is an ID. Then you can now say, okay, yes, I want font size. Sorry, I want font size of, let me say, 50 px. I want to make it bigger. And you see, only that one will be. Shortcut how to copy something multiple times. Right, so it's simple. Just select what you want to copy, select it, and hold Alt Shift Alt down. Alt Shift Alt down. So it's good. Alt Shift Alt down.
But what about if you now write something here to now affect this one?
Yeah, if you want to do that, that means you want to type multiple places at the same time. I want to type here and I want to type here. I can just first target here, like just tap on it. Then hold your Alt key. Hold your Alt key and tap somewhere else. You get it? Every time I want to tap here, I want to tap here. I'll hold my Alt key, tap here.
You hold your Alt key.
Tap somewhere else first. Hold your Alt key, tap another place, type. Is that the only question you have first? This is internal CSS, meaning that you are writing your CSS inside your HTML. The last type of CSS is called external. CSS. So external CSS is like a way for you to write CSS exactly like this one, exactly like this, but it will not be inside here. It will be in a separate place, exactly somewhere else. So inside this folder called CSS, you are going to open a file. That file will be a CSS file, not a HTML file. You go inside there, first tap on it. Right here. If I told you if you want to make HTML, you first tap outside so that you do not mistakenly make something inside there. Now I want you to make a file inside here. First tap on it and press this new file and make anything. Like star dot CSS, not dot HTML, dot CSS. Press enter. If I pack all this code here, all this code, and put it inside here, you see everything is working. So now, you said there's no error, there's no error. It is the same thing, but the thing is that I will not copy it together with this nonsense because this is for HTML. This one is telling that, okay, yes, my HTML can now accept CSS code. But since we are inside the CSS file already, no need for style because it knows that it's only CSS you're writing there. So yes, once you are there and you can do this. Now let us check our code. Is all those things I removed, is it going to work? No. The only one that is working is this one. Why is it not working? Exactly. So it is directly inside the file. That is working. So if you are to make this work, you have to link it. Think of it, you have a house. Your house has a generator. Does it make sense to on your gen and not plug it in? You said this. So that's how it works. You have to link it. So inside your HTML, we have to find a way to make sure that this HTML knows that there is a file that is going to bring in something. So what do? Go to your head again. I like my writing my own above the title. It's above the title. I come back and write LINK link. So I did press enter like less than 1 hour. Just press LINK link, press enter. And you see something like style sheets. Remember that CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So it's telling you that yes, where is that file located? You write the file here. Where is the file located? This index is here. This file is inside a folder called CSS. So I'll come back and write CSS / styles. Meaning go to CSS folder, enter inside, then pick out style CSS. Once you do that and you refresh here. Easy. So remember, if you use external, it means that you can write your code separately. For example, some people are very good at how will I say it, jam packing things. Maybe you want to do something, just do. Because some people are more arranged. So if you want your code to be more arranged, or you want your CSS to be separate, you want your HTML to be separate, one day you will write HTML code that will reach 1,000 lines. So imagine you're writing HTML 1,000, CSS 1,000, which you have to scroll up, down. But imagine having a separate file like this, where you know anytime from consign CSS is separate, anytime consign HTML. So that's how it works. So if you use this way, this external CSS way, it's easier because you can make your code arranged and you can make your CSS affect not just one HTML but multiple HTML. For example, if I wanted to make a website that has 5 pages, if I was doing the code using internal, I have to be writing it inside each file. I'll make one file, I'll write all the code there. I'll write second file, I'll write the code here, third file, I'll write the code there. Instead, I can make one file and link it to 5 of them. You get it? So even if it's 1,000 and it's linked to that one file, I can make one change to that one file and it affects 1,000. So that's the advantage of using external. But you will notice that in my class, when I'm teaching you, I'll be using internal. Why I'm using internal is because I will be creating a lot of files. So I will not want to be going here. I'm simply doing in one page. But if I'm doing it for a new website, I'll make it separate. So please learn how to use it separately. Any assignment I give you, you can choose to use internal, external. I'm telling you that if you're making a website or a real life project, you are going to be using external. Learn both of them. It's the same thing. You can see there's no difference. The only difference is that you're going to be linking. That's it. So we're done with this class. Our assignment is simple. Our assignment. DIV, yes, DIV is another block level tag, but I have not have any use for it now. I will teach you in the next 2 classes. So yeah, your assignment is to use CSS to style 30 paragraphs. Use CSS to give different paragraphs, different colors. One paragraph, another color. One paragraph, another color. Use external CSS. So that means you're making one paragraph, color. One paragraph, color. But external CSS. I don't know whether you use Classroom, I don't know whether it's ID, whatever you use. You just make it have different colors. Simple. If possible, you can go further and make it that each of them can have different font size, different text align, all those kind of paparazzi. So yeah, that's the first assignment. Second assignment is to go to a website called W3 School. So you guys need data in this class. I hope all of you have phones.
W3 School.com. That's how you get this crap.